In the last part of the applications for big data, we look at social media analysis. And social media analysis, you can see it here. You know probably different social media providers. You probably know Evernote here. You probably know Twitter, probably know Facebook. I think it's Reddit and Delicious, whatever. There are different social media companies, and as you know, you can post your text there, your posts there, posts containing maybe personal messages, maybe experiences on your day, and experiences with a certain product could be important for companies, whatever. And in social media analysis, the key goal is to extract certain knowledge from different sources to get an overview of the current state of the people or the state of the sentiments of the people, and to get a feeling for the situation out there in the real world. And to get that feeling, you first have to collect from different sources all the data which are available. There are huge amounts of Twitter posts, for example, available for analysis. Huge amounts of public Facebook posts available for analysis. Huge amount of posts on whatever platform you might imagine. All these posts, public posts, might go into our next step, into our analyze step. And in this analyze step, we first have to segment the data regarding certain criteria, for example, regarding the language criteria. Language is important for some companies because they might operate with a certain product or a certain service in a certain region. That's why language identification is important to see what language did the blogger or did the writer of the post use, and then it might be filtered out because it's not the focus of the company. So first point in the analysis phase, language identification. Then you might cluster the documents, you might cluster it regarding to certain topics, and it might be of high importance for your company producing a certain product that you find the cluster which somehow deals with your product, where people exchange ideas, exchange experiences which somehow relate to your product which you produced. Then you also need to extract the entities the people talk about and to relate them to each other, maybe regarding within text, regarding the relations within one text, or regarding relations to other texts also. And what is quite new in this area for analyzing such texts is the sentiment analysis. That means that you can somehow get an impression of the sentiment of the people who wrote the posts. So for example, if they publish something about a certain product of your company, then it might be a good post or a bad post in which the publisher says something positive about your product or something negative. And in most cases, it's not that easy to analyze this with machines, but there are algorithms available with which you can do this sentiment analysis in this second phase where the analysis is done. The next phase is the indexing phase, and this is the phase where you then are able to extract certain keywords and where you're able to enable a search support for the later analysis of the data. And you deliver the analyzed indexed data, you deliver it for reports saying that there are a lot of positive, a lot of negative messages posts about your product, for example. You could also provide real-time analysis. This sometimes is done in special situations in countries where the leaders might want to monitor the people, and you could from the analysis conclude if you need to somehow do some regulation regarding your governmental activities, for example. You would provide dashboards with real-time data, for example, and of course, you would also enable the user of this social media analysis to search in the data, to dig deeper into the data, to drill down into the data. Again, we look in these buildings blocks: data acquisition, data storage, analysis, and visualization. Data acquisition, you have to connect to these social media platforms. You have to capture the relevant public texts, and you have to do that in real time. So imagine there are thousands of posts coming in at the Twitter platform, and if you want to do a good analysis of the data, then of course you have to take all these posts also into your analysis, and you have to therefore transfer the meta text in real time into your analysis solution. Data storage, you would store some data, but you probably would not store all the data, because that means that you would be required to enable storage not only in the volume of Twitter, but also Twitter, Facebook, Delicious, whatever platform altogether. And that's technically quite challenging. So that's why you filter out the data and you concentrate on the relevant data. You store them, but in this data storage phase, you do a so to say, filtering pre-analysis already. This is the data analysis part. Here in this case, actually kind of done together with the data storage part. And the visualization might tell you something about the correlation between different data. And with the help of the visualization, you can draw your conclusion for the situation. Applications of this social media analysis could be the, so to say, sentiment analysis, which, how I told you in the slide before also, is used to extract a certain opinion about the product, about your product maybe, an opinion which might be important for maybe some public relation activities or some activities regarding the product improvement. Intelligence services also use this social media analysis. And maybe one quite useful application could be the disaster management. Disaster management, where people usually today have their smartphone with them, and where they Twitter, they post on Facebook, and they give some information about the disaster happening right now, and this might help the disaster manager to somehow get a better overview of the situation, and maybe also to somehow focus on problematic areas where the disaster has a certain higher impact. Here in this slide, you see a result of the analysis of such a social media analysis, and it is shown here the development of the price of rice per month in relation to discussions at Twitter. So in the lower part of this graphic, you see that there is the real price development from September 2010 to October 2011, and that there's certain development of the price. And in the upper part, you see there is also a certain amount of discussions going on, discussions about the price of rice. And the interesting thing is that here in the times where the price rises, the discussions about the price also increase. So price is important. Price is also discussed at the platform Twitter. The same here later on, the price again rises and again discussions at Twitter increase because the people discuss about the price, which is an important indicator for their life.